People do not come into our lives by chance. Carl Jung's warning. Carl Jung philosophy. Nothing in life is random. The people who come into your life are not accidents. They are lessons. Others might say it's just coincidence that she just happened to show up, or he just happened to break your heart, or those friends who left you were just part of life. But that's not the truth. Carl Jung believed there are no accidents. He said life shows you who you are. Until you face what's inside you, it will keep controlling your life, and you'll call it fate. That breakup? Maybe it wasn't meant to break you, but to break your illusion. That betrayal? Maybe it wasn't bad luck, but a wake-up call to pull you out of the wrong path. The universe doesn't send people. It sends mirrors. Everyone who comes into your life reflects something in you, your fears, your wounds, your worth, your patterns. The one who loved you, then left, showed you how attached you were to temporary things. The one who manipulated you showed you the part of you that thinks love must be earned through pain. The one who walked away without closure showed you that you are the closure. So no, it wasn't random. It was growth. Not what your ego wanted, but what your soul needed. Sometimes God doesn't send comfort. He sends people who trigger you, so the parts of you that need healing can't hide anymore. This isn't about blame. It's about awakening. Every person, whether you loved them, hated them, or feared them, was a message, a teacher, a mirror. When you stop asking, why did they hurt me? And instead ask, what did they teach me? That's when healing begins. As Jung said, people aren't random. They're mirrors of your soul. Some arrive to heal you, some to challenge you, some to break the lies you live by. Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Most people spend their lives running from their triggers. But what if the trigger itself is the teacher? What if the person you can't forget isn't meant to come back, but still lingers in your mind because their lesson hasn't been accepted yet? Every interaction is sacred data. Every relationship is a classroom. Every heartbreak is a syllabus for transformation. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what is this trying to show me? The universe doesn't speak in words. It speaks in people. And when you finally listen, you realize you were never being punished. You were being prepared. It's easy to hate the ones who hurt you, to replay the betrayal, to resent the silence, to curse the pain. But what if they weren't enemies? What if the ones who broke you were actually sacred messengers disguised as chaos? Jung believed suffering isn't punishment. It's a doorway. He said there is no becoming conscious without pain. The soul doesn't grow in comfort. It grows through cracks. The ones who cracked you open were never random. They were placed in your life to burn away the false self you built on fear, people-pleasing, and survival. The one who betrayed your trust forced you to question who deserves your energy. The lover who left you in the dark broke you, but also built you by teaching you to create your own light. The friend who turned cold revealed a truth you didn't want to see. Not everyone is meant to walk with you forever. Oh, one deserves a permanent seat at your healing table unless their role is meant to be there. The people who hurt you aren't just stories from your past. They were tests, initiations, sacred fires that shaped you. They weren't there to define you by their presence, but to reveal who you could become once they left. Jung taught that the wound is the birthplace of the breakthrough. The people who hurt you are often the very ones who push you toward transformation. You don't grow strong by avoiding pain. You grow by turning pain into purpose. Yes, they hurt you, but through that hurt, doors opened inside you that would have stayed locked forever. You stopped giving blindly. You stopped tolerating nonsense. You began valuing yourself. You started healing old beliefs that told you, you're not enough unless you're needed. So don't curse them. Thank them. Thank them for doing what your comfort zone refused to do. Thank them for being the storm that tore your roof away, because only then did you remember you were always meant to build a sky of your own. In Jungian psychology, the shadow isn't the enemy, it's the invitation. The people who trigger you most often hold the key to your next evolution. Instead of asking, why did they hurt me? Ask, what did their presence awaken in me? Healing begins not by forgetting what happened, but by remembering what it taught you. That is how the light enters. Sometimes, When you meet someone for the first time, it feels like you've known them forever. That unshakable sense of déjà vu, that whisper inside saying, "Oh, it's you again." That isn't just chemistry. That's soul memory. Jung believed in the collective unconscious, a place where soul memories live beyond time and space. That's why you can feel safe with a stranger in ways you never felt with people you've known for years. Sometimes the body meets for the first time, but the souls have danced before. These connections aren't coincidences. They're soul contracts. Some people come to love you, some to trigger you, some to wake you up. You don't attract them, you remember them. And when that remembrance happens, the whole universe seems to pause, like you stepped outside of time. As Jung said, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. And that's what soul meetings do. They transform you. Not always gently, not always beautifully, but always spiritually. Not every soul is meant to stay. Some arrive like cherry blossoms, brief, beautiful, gone with the wind. Some come like storms, they shatter you, but when they leave, you stand stronger than before. And some are roots, quiet, unseen, but always holding you up when you feel you can't stand alone. Every person plays a role. There are no coincidences. As Jung said, who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. Relationships are invitations to wake up. But here's where many get stuck. We try to make everyone permanent. We cling to blossoms and demand they grow roots. We beg the storm to stay after its work is done. We confuse teachers for soulmates and lessons for lifelong bonds. But the universe doesn't work that way. Once the message is delivered, some people must leave. That isn't abandonment. That's completion. The soul contract has been fulfilled. Sometimes people disappear without warning, without closure, without a final word. The silence feels heavier than a goodbye. But they didn't leave without reason. They left because their role was finished. The more you resist this, the more you suffer. Jung said, "What you resist persists." The pain isn't from their absence, it's from your refusal to accept the ending. Not every connection is meant to last. Some souls come only to awaken you. And once that awakening happens, they vanish, not as punishment, but as fulfillment. Endings, they feel like rebirth. And here's something you might forget. You're also a teacher in someone else's story. While you've been sitting in silence, overthinking their absence, someone else has been healing because of your presence. While you've been asking, "Why did they come into my life?" someone somewhere is quietly wondering, "Why did you come into mine?" We spend so much time thinking about who hurt us, who taught us, who changed us, that we forget we've done the same for others. You weren't just a student in someone else's story. You were a mirror in theirs. You were the trigger, the comfort, the storm, the safe place, the reflection of what they needed to face. Yes, you. You were the reason someone confronted their fear. You were the reason someone let go of their past. You were the spark for someone's transformation, even if they never told you, even if they disappeared afterward, even if they'll never say your name again. That's the thing about soul contracts. They don't always come with a thank you, but their effect is permanent. Carl Jung didn't just study the conscious mind. He studied how our souls are designed, how our lives fit together like puzzle pieces, how pain connects us, how we pass lessons between each other like sacred torches. We are not separate stories. We're threads in one divine tapestry, woven together by destiny. And in that tapestry, you're not just a receiver, you're also a transmitter. You've been the person someone couldn't forget. You've been the one who shattered an illusion. You've been the quiet voice that started someone's awakening. You don't need to be famous. You don't need to be loud. You don't even need to know you've done it. Your energy, your growth, your light, your shadow, your words, your silence, they've all been lessons in someone else's classroom. So before you mourn who left, before you spiral into regret, pause and realize this. You're part of the design too. Not just as a seeker, but as a guide. You've been someone's turning point, someone's sign from the universe, someone's sacred detour leading them out of patterns they never saw until you appeared. That's the quiet power of being human. That's the invisible work of the soul. So next time you feel small, forgotten, replaceable, remember, you are also the answer to someone else's question. You are also the lesson in someone else's growth. And even if they never say it out loud, you mattered. You changed something. You left fingerprints on their evolution. That's the beauty of it all. We're not just living, we're weaving. Every meeting, every heartbreak, every goodbye is a stitch in the soul's fabric. This isn't chaos. This is choreography. Carl Jung knew that. He didn't just study the mind. He mapped the blueprint of the soul's evolution. And if you've ever wondered why you crossed paths with certain people, why you had to feel so much, lose so much, change so much, maybe it's because you weren't just meant to be transformed. You were meant to transform others. That makes you a soul teacher, too. Your body knows before your mind does. You feel it when someone is polite, but their presence makes your light shrink inside. You feel it when someone gives you compliments, yet you walk away feeling empty instead of empowered.
Why?
Because energy doesn't lie. Jung understood this. Our unconscious mind notices more than we realize. It reads tiny expressions on faces. It hears the tone behind the words. It senses the emotional atmosphere in a room. It feels what isn't being said. That's why you've trusted people who looked nice but drained you, and avoided others who seemed harsh but strangely felt safe. That's soul recognition. That's energetic alignment. Energy is always speaking, often louder than words. The question is, are you listening? The strongest form of intuition isn't logic. It's the body reacting to hidden truth. That knot in your stomach, the tightness in your shoulders, the unexplainable pull or push you feel, that's your soul warning you. The more awake you become, the less you can tolerate people whose energy doesn't match their smile. Some people wear a mask of kindness, but carry chaos inside them, and your body tenses in their presence. Others may seem rough or weathered, but they carry peace, and being around them feels like home. So trust the signal, not the script. People who drain you do so because they haven't healed and spill their wounds everywhere. People who lift you up do so because they've faced their shadows and turned them into light. Jung reminded us, who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. Awakening means you stop needing proof or explanations. If your soul flinches, that's enough. If your spirit expands, that's sacred. Optional, it's survival. Because even when your mind denies it, your heart gets confused, or why you are energy. You are vibration. And the people around you are either raising it or poisoning it. That's why protecting your peace, your space, your energy is not our mouth says, I'm fine. Your vibration still tells the truth. So, trust it. You don't need closure, evidence, or logic. If it feels wrong, it is. If it feels right, protect it. If it feels like home, honor it. This is how awakened souls live, not by words, but by energetic wisdom.